That wasn't the only needle-moving Big Ten commitment over the weekend, Carter. Liam McNeeley has announced that he's going to Indiana. If you watch Sleepers Media on YouTube or listen to this podcast, you would have known about a month ago that it was highly likely Liam McNeeley was going to end up at Indiana. This is a huge ad. I hypothesized that this would be the biggest ad in Big Ten basketball in 10 years if they were able to secure this commitment. I feel strongly that is the case. I think this is the moment that Indiana basketball is turning from a program that is always good, is always like in the mix. But as a fan of a rival program, I'll call it what it is, I don't think Indiana basketball has had to be taken seriously under Mike Woodson. Now I'm taking them seriously. I'm looking forward and I'm seeing what this roster is going to look like in a year when Liam McNeeley gets there. It's going to be loaded. This isn't the last big name that's going to end up in Bloomington. He has all the momentum in the world right now. And specific to Liam, that boy can fill it up. Okay. Like, I know there's been some skepticism around, is he a little overrated? Do you see the 5 stars here or not? I know this. He's one of the purest shooters in the country. And if he gets the ball with an inch of space, he's going to find a way to put the round thing in the 10-foot thing. That's one of our favorite qualities of college basketball players. So how excited should Indiana fans be that they got Liam McNeeley?
They should be absolutely through the roof, massively excited. I'm going to look at the camera right now, and I'm going to say this with my heart and soul. Indiana, I'm scared of you. Mike Woodson, I'm so afraid of you. I think I speak for all the Big Ten. We are scared of you. I think my one wish, though, or not wish necessarily, but the one thing that I think would even make this better for Indiana is if McNeeley would have reclassed and joined this year's team. Because I think there's a gaping hole for him with this team. I think that there is. And I've thrown out the comparisons of like Gildenbrand, Devin Booker, like Tyler Hero type game. I mean, he truly does kind of play like those dudes. He does. Like, I see like Klay Thompson too, with the way his form is perfect and he gets it off quickly and he has the size at 6'5", and he's just such a good player. And, you know, he fills it up. Like you said, can't teach shooting. You also can't teach him having the size as well. Like, he's 6'5", 6'6", so he can shoot. You know, he's able to get his shot off at any time. He's going to be special in Bloomington. And I don't know if he'll be there all 4 years, to be honest with you, but he'll be special in Bloomington. And I think they'll do some good things there.
That was big of you to come right out and say you're afraid of Mike Woodson. I mean, that was plus 800 to ever happen on this program. You've never been afraid of Mike Woodson.
I'm like, Mike Woodson went toe to toe with Bill Self and said, you know, straight up check ball and recruiting. And he beat him.
Yeah, there's only a very limited number of people in the country that can do that, or that have done that in the last 10 years. And now Mike Woodson can say he's won. It's not, I said at the top, I don't think this is the end either. Like, I think all eyes on Boogie Fland next. Like, on paper, Indiana projects as one of the 3 most talented teams in this conference next season. And I'm starting to think about like the overall talent influx the Big Ten is about to get. Like, Rutgers is going to have the number 1 class in the country. Indiana is right up there. Michigan State is still humming. Like, those 3 programs are going to be insane. And we haven't even mentioned Purdue, who, is going to lose Zach Edey, but has all of this young talent that's going to be back. The Big Ten could maybe be back in a moment.
Yeah, and then we're adding like the USCs. You know, they got good talent.
I don't claim them.
Oh, you're not claiming them.
I mean, I can't. But like, if you're going to come into the Big Ten and expect respect from me, like, don't throw 3 first-half interceptions on the road to Notre Dame. That's not Big Ten behavior. I'm sorry. Okay. Like, it just is what it is. We need to talk about that at some point too, because that's your boy. I mean, you've tripled down on him. That was a bad look for your boy.
Yeah, that was awful. Terrible.
Not great. All right. Final Indiana question for me. How many of the bigs do they get back next year? They have Kalel Ware, they have Malik Renault, they have Mackenzie Mbako. I know Mbako's not a true big, but whatever. That's their front court. How many of those guys are on the roster a season from now?
Who?
They could get all 3. They could get 0.
I think Renault and Mbako come back.
Okay. I hypothesize Mbako would be back too, but some people were giving me flack for that. They think he's like a no-brainer one and done type.
I mean, I think he could be, but like he would be like he would get drafted, I think, no matter what he does this season,
Yeah.
just off of his like pedigree, size, things like that. Like someone would take a flyer on drafting him, like even if it's in the late first, second round, like he would find his way to get drafted. But I truly think he'll come back. I think Ware's gone after this season, also, no matter what. I think if anything, the way they're looking at Mbako, they need to look at Ware. Ware's gone no matter what. I think it's a one season thing.
I agree with that for sure. And I think Renault's back no matter what. So the big question
Yeah.
is just Mbako.
And I also think that because of this McNeeley thing, like you said, like they're in on Boogie Flan. They're also in on one of his teammates as well, Derek Queen. Oh, sorry, I think it might be McQueen or Derek Queen. Really good player. I really like him a lot. He's got really good, like, I mean, he's like kind of an older school big, like got big body, great footwork, can pass it, do some things. I really like him. Actually, speaking of the Big Ten, the last time that I looked, I think he was on Maryland lean, actually. And I think he's from the DMV area. He'd be really good there as well. So, but I would watch out on Indiana trying to get in on that recruitment and kind of maybe pitch him as the joining Liam, staying with the Montverde connection as well. I can see that happening.
Yeah, there's just so many elite cores looking forward in the Big Ten right now, like Fears, Booker, Carr at Michigan State, Colvin, Kaufman, Wren, Lawyer, Smith at Purdue. Now you got McNeeley, potentially Fland, Mbako at Indiana, even down to Maryland. It's like Harris, Smith, Kaiser. I don't know who else could be back for them, but that's a loaded group. And then obviously you have McDaniel, Reed, George Washington III in Ann Arbor. It's like everybody's just totally loaded.
Hey, you really just tried to sneak that shit in there, didn't you?
It's special times.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Who's final Indiana question for me? Let's say they get Mbako back. Mbako and McNeeley are for sure on the roster. You can also project anybody you want as a recruit that could join. Make a prediction, fine. Who's the best player on Indiana next season?
Best player?
Best player next season. In a world where they have Mbako.
I'm going to stick to my guns. Renault.
Whoa, that's crazy. I didn't expect that.
Renault's the best player on that team.
I did not expect that. Okay. I would have for sure thought either Mbako or McNeeley is like just instant, really, really good.
I think they're good. I mean, they'll have the stats too, but I just think that Renault will be the best player. Like, I think Renault's a double-double if he plays major minutes.
If you're right on that, then I'm back to selling Indiana stock. If Malik Renault's best player 2 years,
you know how I feel about Renault, man.
If he's your fifth best player, I love your team. If he's your first best player, good luck.
Okay, but wait, one last thing on Indiana, though. They don't get anybody else, and I project guys to leave. A starting lineup next year, how does this move you? You have, let's say, Gabe Cupps, Liam McNeeley, Renault at the 5, Mbako at the 4, and then I don't think I'm missing it. I mean, maybe Trey Galloway comes back. I don't know if he can, but I feel like he would if he could. And Trey Galloway is like your 3. Where are you at on that team?
That's one too many candy stripe Indiana white shooters. If you could cut one of those 3 and say you got 2 of them mixed in with like another prestigious freshman, I'm all in on that team. I don't think they can be 60% like spot shooting Indiana born child. Like and McNeely's not that. McNeely's a killer. I know that, but I think you would hope somebody outside of Cupps and Galloway can come in and maybe push Galloway to like a 6th man role, even though I think Galloway could have a really good year this year. But I think at best case scenario to me, you're looking at Fland, McNeeley, Renault, Mbako, whoever you think fits best 5th, like pick Cupps or pick Galloway or somebody else. And to me, that team, top 5 in the country preseason, if that's the lineup.
I'm with you.
Honestly, we could be looking at, I think we could see Rutgers, Michigan State, and Indiana all preseason top 5 next year.
That'd be crazy. The times. We used to pray for times like this, though.
And when that happens, I will be rushing to place a Purdue future immediately. By the way, if you get to tell me everyone forgot about Purdue after all of this, I'm all over it.